It's, I guess, not surprising that so many people don't understand Israel and don't understand the Jewish people. Obviously, the Jewish people are a very, very tiny part of the global population. And their history, probably not that important to the large majority of people who are not Jewish. So I figured I'd take this moment to just say this. The Jewish people have been persecuted for a very long time. They were kicked out of their homeland in Israel thousands of years ago and were spread all over the world, where they were minorities in every nation, and minorities that were discriminated against and ultimately persecuted in most places, culminating with the worst persecution probably of all time in humanity, which was the Holocaust, which was a true genocidal attempt by the Nazis with help from many in Nazi converted countries who had antipathy towards Jews, to literally wipe out all of European Jewry, and then ultimately, hopefully, the remainder of the Jews that were not in Europe. They nearly succeeded. They killed 6 million Jews, which at that time was a significant portion of the entire Jewish population, and actually is to this day because the Jews don't number that many. The systematic killing, including shipping civilians on cattle cars to death camps where they were used as slave labor and ultimately were killed and cremated. Never before and never since has there been a systematic genocidal attempt on a people that resembles that. Of course, there's many killings going on in the world at all times, but never like that. Well, Israel, in modern day Israel, was created in 1948 in a land that the British controlled, which was then called Palestine. And there were Jews still living there from way back, but a lot of Jews fled Europe during this persecution by the Nazis, and in the wake of the end of World War II, looking for a safe haven. And the British split that territory into two, giving the Jews half and the Arabs the other part. And there's been very little peace since then for the Jews, because the Arab people have decided that they didn't want the Jews there, and they wanted to get rid of them again, kill them all, drive them into the sea, take over their land. It ain't gonna happen. The Jews have lived for thousands of years being persecuted as minorities. They finally have their own state. The Jews have a very strong military, a wonderful economy that they built from scratch. And they're there for a reason. So if you don't understand the history of Israel and the history of the Jewish people, before you condemn what's going on in Gaza, do a little bit of homework, do a little bit of research, get smart.